Thursday. I am having a nightmare Thursday. Somehow my Instagram got hacked along with my WhatsApp. I have had hundreds of messages from friends all day just saying, what the hell is going on? What are you talking about? And it's DMing. So if you happen to be a friend of mine on Instagram or if I know you on WhatsApp, I'm sorry. Apologies. I don't know what the hell's going on. Very, very frustrating trying to take care of it. Fortunately, I have a couple of friends who work at Meta and they are going to help us out, hopefully. So to be determined on that, but that's been a lot of my day other than the DFS side of things. So let's get into it. I'm going to share my screen and talk through this, and then we will do a build. Feel free to pop in questions and thoughts along the way. Tonight, unlike last night, it's not like we're waiting on so many things, but the pieces we're waiting on are fairly big because of the lack of value on this slate. We officially have, wait, did I miss something here? We officially have Paolo in, never mind. And Brunson, never mind. Brunson just got announced in too a little bit ago. So I feel like knock on whatever, we're as good as we can be right now. That's all I can say pretty much. There's nothing else I got for you. I think this is all we just got to assume that what we've got is what we've got and play accordingly. Obviously, would have been nice to have that information last night before the 8 o'clock lock, but things are what they are. And honestly, it didn't matter that much because Sacramento didn't really have anybody massively pay off their price tag except for Chris Duarte, who I don't think many people plays very much. I'm with you, BMac. Yeah, nice to have the stuff dropping early. By the way, we have to have a conversation. I got to give you a call one of these days. We gotta chat. All right, so this is my core right now. I actually I guess that I'm a little surprised that Schroeder is not a little more popular and not projecting a little better. Still popular, but not quite as much as I thought it would be. I do think the Van Vliet thing feels funny to play as chalk, as we've seen him have so many just subpar games. So even though I've got him in my core, I don't know if I'm going to use him in my tournament in my big buy-ins because I just feel like there's enough volatility there. I do think playing cash, it makes sense to play him because he's a nice medium price range and everything. But yeah, and the same thing with Bridges, I like better. I'm going to probably just have him no matter what. Cam Johnson, I think you can play Cam Johnson. I also think you could pivot over to Lonnie Walker, who's going to be the more popular one. And then actually, it's interesting that SaberSim right now is Dorian Finney-Smith as a little more popular. I like Finney-Smith for what it's worth. All right, so we'll go game by game and talk through some of the things that we're going to be doing. But in the meantime, I'm just going to take a quick look. Tonight's our night. Yeah, let's take one down, K9. Super random, but I felt like you're Instagram. Oh, yeah, Kobe, are you joking? Kobe, did you hear what I said at the beginning of the show? I literally started off by my Instagram. My WhatsApp got hacked. I'm so sorry. Everything has been hacked. I please don't open anything. It's really frustrating. And BMAX mentioning now that Hendricks is going to pop without Kessler. I agree about Hendricks too. I actually like him. I didn't get that update yet on the projection side of it. Let's take a look. Yeah, this isn't right. They bumped up Collins a little bit. It should give it a few more minutes. By the way, I'm not actually sure that it bumps Hendricks up as much as people think. I think Hendricks was already like a decent play anyway. I don't know that it's going to necessarily bump him up a ton because I think they're going to play Yurt 7. I actually think Yurt 7 is going to get a little bit of ownership. And I'm curious to see who they end up starting. So hopefully, we should have that news before lock. Anyway, apologies, Kobe, and anybody else who follows me on Instagram. Very, very strange. I need to figure out what the hell's going on. And I'm just running kind of rough in life these days. All right. So I did not get to much Giannis because of the lack of value. I think that, you hope this game stays closer. Maybe you play some Giannis tonight. I think it's totally reasonable. I just didn't get there myself. I really didn't get to anybody from Milwaukee, and I'm totally fine with Giannis, Lillard, and either Portis or Lopez, I think are fine, but I just didn't get there. I don't know what else to say. I think Portis might be an interesting tournament play, I guess, but I'm not there right now. So same thing with Charlotte. I'm not really getting too much over here. If I did, I think Trey Mann is like one of the most interesting pieces on the slate. Like he's, I think, a terrific tournament play if you want to go there. Again, didn't quite fit my builds, but I do think it's a really good play. Going over to Utah again. Hendricks is my favorite here, but I don't know that he's getting my fear was that he'd get a perception, higher ownership because of Kessler. They're not exactly like interchangeable. Collins will play the 5. Everybody else, they're still loaded in terms of depth, and then they'll also use Europe 7. So I'm not sure how much of a boost it gives. But I do think Hendricks is already in play anyway, and I like him enough. So that's where I'm at. Orlando side of things, Wendell Carter, I love. I don't understand these ownerships. I think they're wrong, but I am going to be well over on Wendell Carter. I don't care that Paolo is playing also. I also think Suggs is in play, even with Paolo, and I think Paolo is definitely in play. But I am high on Carter. He's one of my favorite plays. Obviously, a core piece for me. Capella, look, my big builds right now on DraftKings are going to be Capella and Carter lineups that use that 5,300 and 5,400, take up your utility spot. That's probably what I'm doing. I am playing DeJounte Murray on FanDuel, and I have some of him on DraftKings just because the ownership is going to be too low. I'm also getting to some Bogdanovich on DraftKings. I think his projection definitely has room upward. I could see this being one of those 40-plus fantasy nights for Bogdanovich pretty easily. So I actually do like Bogdanovich quite a bit. I really like this whole game. This is, I think, where I'm playing Capella, Murray some. I'm playing Jalen Johnson a little bit. Obviously Bogdanovich. And then on the other side, I am playing basically Schroeder. I'm playing all the top 6 projected guys here, but I'm actually going to be playing more of Cam Johnson on DraftKings. Cam Johnson on FanDuel. Yeah, and I have him on both. And I do like Dorian Finney-Smith a little bit. Lonnie Walker is a little bit higher owned than I'd like him to be. Finney-Smith, I feel more secure about the minutes. Remember, we haven't really seen a close game with Brooklyn, so don't look at their minute logs. It's just completely ridiculous. They haven't really played a close game recently. So I'm going to side with Finney-Smith, Schroeder, and Bridges as my favorite on DraftKings, and Cam Johnson, and as well as Lonnie Walker, I think are totally fine plays. As well as the Claxton at 6,400 in a good matchup against Atlanta, who's 4th worst in the NBA or 3rd worst in the NBA at allowing fantasy points to centers. So those are the guys I'm looking at. I do like this game stack as the way that I'm mostly building. So that is what I will be doing. I mentioned earlier, Steph Curry is going to be low owned. I am actually going to play some Steph on FanDuel. I think he'll have a little more ownership over there. He's a little cheaper over there and very easy to fit in with the guy I love on the other side. I'm not getting to Moody today for what it's worth. If I end up with 1 or 2 lineups of him, I'm not going to be bothered, but I'm not trying to get there. I like Jalen Brunson. I think Jalen Brunson is a tremendous play today. And I think you could play some, that's what I have on FanDuel right now. I have some Brunson and Steph lineups with Murray in there as well from the other game. So I do like this spot. I think Josh Hart and DiVincenzo are still in play and now will not get any ownership. I think you could definitely get some exposure there. That's another way I like to get different on this slate. Jalen Williams, chalky-ish, and my favorite part of this game. No issue if you want to use your Shea as your spend up. I think it's totally reasonable. I just personally like the 9K guys, and I am doing that. I'm going that way. But Jalen Williams, I definitely have some exposure to on both sides. Actually, I'm sorry, on DraftKings, not on FanDuel. San Antonio. Look, I said it earlier. My feelings are still similarly. When you have so many guys who project to be somewhat owned, they just really can't all get there unless something outlandish kind of happens. But all of these guys are strong plays. Keldon Johnson, Trey Jones, obviously Wemby every night is a pretty strong play, and now people are on it. So I might. This is probably my time to jump off. You can get a little Shea Wemby action if you use some pretty thin value, but it's not the worst idea in the world. I didn't get to any Devin Vassell in my actual hand builds, but I have no issue with it. I do think Keldon Johnson, is interesting, but I also think I don't think he's any better of a play than Sohan is. So I think you could take a shot on either one of those guys. A little less interested in Branham than I was earlier today. Moving over to the final game of the slate, the Houston and Phoenix. Look, I have Van Vliet tagged. I do think there is some risk there. I like Cam Whitmore a lot as a tournament play. We know he's got a wide range of outcomes, but the good is really good. And I also have no issue if you want to play Dylan Brooks. I feel like Dylan Brooks is going to get in foul trouble in this game, and I feel like he's going to get into a fight. I just got a feeling it's been a little bit since we've seen him fight, right? I think this might be a night where we see him fight. Şengün stands out a little more on FanDuel because of the way the pricing works, even though his price is similar, 8,300 versus 86, 60,000 price over there and 60,000 to spend instead of 50,000 over here, one more player over there, et cetera, et cetera. Şengün is totally fine to me, but I mostly have Van Vliet and Whitmore, and that's pretty much it for me from there. We don't know, we probably won't know about Bradley Beal officially, so I am going to I'm not getting too much Booker or Durant. I have no problem if that's where you wind up. It is kind of funny to me in my head even that I'm interested in playing DeJounte at 9,400, but I'm not interested in playing Booker as much at 9,200. It's really an ownership thing. But I do like Booker plenty, especially if we knew for sure that we'd have Beal out, but we just don't. And the same thing with Durant. Durant fits in the very similar category as Booker. I'm just going with the point guard, spending up on those 9K guys instead a little bit more. Durant had a nice 60 fantasy point game the other day against this Houston team. Wouldn't be shocked if he did it again. No issue if that's what you want to do, but I personally didn't get there. All right, let's get into some questions. I hope you guys are firing them in there, and I will jump on over, see what we got. All right. BMax likes SGA, no problem. No, please don't send me whatever you do, my least favorite thing in the world. And I'm happy to do it for our members because I really love you guys. I appreciate you guys, but I hate when people DM me their lineups and ask me to result them. One of my least favorite things when I worked at Roto Grinders, I made a rule on Twitter. I will never answer a question in a DM. I will only answer questions that are asked generally. I think you put it in the public Discord. But BMAC, because it's you, I will check it out, and I'm not going to have time to weigh in because I have this show straight up to building my lineup, so there's no room for me to go through someone's lineup builds this late in the day. If you must do it, please do it like early in the day for thoughts or something, because I have no way to do it late in the day, and I also just I really hate doing it in a one-on-one basis. Otherwise, I just get flooded within, and I'm literally not doing my job. And partly the truth is, I haven't made. I love our site. I think we have one of the best offerings. I think we're going to have a big site for a long time. I have not made a penny off of this site, and I probably won't for another 6 months to a year. So I want to make that very, very clear to everybody. This is something that we're doing out of love and that we believe that we're building something. But it is really hard to answer hundreds of different DMs. Same thing with Sheets. Sheets will never respond to a DM. If he does, it's just totally flukish that he does. But I will, because it's you, be back, take a look. But I am no interest in doing that in general. No apologies. No apologies. Just wanted to make that clear because it's really, really makes it impossible, especially when I was at RG and my Twitter. I used to have, before I got hacked on my Twitter and lost half my followers, I had over 10,000 followers, and I was trying to answer all these questions. I'm there's no way I could actually do this. It's not even humanly possible, but no problem. It's just want to let you guys know. All right. Any problems with Cam Whitmore for some salary relief? No, Scott. I like him as I mentioned. I think that's good. Is it too thin to roll with two studs and live in the 4 or 5K range? I don't like that, but I think it's totally reasonable. It is not at all what I'm doing. As I said, I'm not spending above 10K on anybody right now on DraftKings. That's not my plan. But BMAC, you never need to apologize to me. I just wanted to make that. Fournette's okay. I would definitely. There's no way I'd play Fournette without a run back. Personally. I just think you're just diving into chalk with no, I don't know. Yes, Fournette is fine to me, but I think I would make sure to have a run back. I guess that's a good question from OG. I guess you could get away with it without a run back, but I would not do it. I would definitely run something back if I was going to be playing 4 of the guys there. Just making sure that's clear. I think maybe there's a way. I guess if you played. What are the 4 you're playing? Because they all sort of eat into each other. Lonnie Walker, theoretically, and actually eats into Schroeder, Cam Johnson, and Finney Smith. Finney Smith eats into Cam Johnson, Schroeder. Schroeder eats into Walker. So they all eat into each other. I just don't know how it works. I would not be building with 4. I would try to keep it at 3. And if I played 4, I would definitely want to run back. In fact, if I played 3, I would want to run back. Wemby or Giannis on FanDuel? Wow, we finally got the Wemby versus Giannis questions. Look at this. What a world we're living in. What a job Wemby's done to launch himself right up to the top. I think the answer is probably Giannis. Yeah. It's just there's just so many more ways. Yeah, you could worry about the matchup, but you could actually worry about the San Antonio matchup also. Yeah, I think it's close enough, I guess, but I think I would go probably with Giannis. If you're going to play the difference between the two of them, there's a $1,200 price difference on DraftKings. I think you use Wemby over on DraftKings maybe, but I would not be playing Wemby over Giannis tonight, but neither will anyone else, so it definitely is different. I don't mind it. Schroeder, Bridges, Cam, and Claxton. That actually is a good mix of guys who don't necessarily eat that much into each other. I just would not do it. No, I would not do it without a run back. I do not think there's anything wrong with it, but you need everything to break your way, including Brooklyn's rotation, because the minutes, like Finney-Smith, let's just take a look at the minutes, because I think it's going to be very hard to project Brooklyn's minutes. If Finney-Smith being projected for less minutes than Cam Johnson, I don't know if that's accurate. I will go with Finney-Smith to play more minutes tonight if the game is within 15 points than Cam Johnson. I actually think Finney-Smith is closer to 30 in a close game here, maybe a little higher even. Lonnie Walker is highly volatile. Obviously, you didn't mention him, but Bridges makes sense. Schroeder makes sense. Cam Johnson makes sense. So does Claxton. So, yeah, you could do it. It's much more of a cashy build that you've got there, OG, than in cash. I think that's totally fine. I just think that it's a little weird. I don't know. I don't love doing the four and none on DraftKings when really the only person's out is Ben Simmons, who's been out most of the year anyway. All right. Any other questions, or is it time we build one? So here's the game we're going to play. The first person to say which tournament we build for, that's what we're doing. So get in your tournament thoughts. Be the first person to type in. Let us know what you're doing. In the meantime, I'm going to remind you guys, click the like button. We really appreciate it. We want to keep doing these videos for free. So we do need to hit the like button on that. All right. Let's see. What is this? Oh, no, it's probably another scam that's trying to come after me. All right. What are we building? 6. Okay, there we go. Nice job. BMax got it in with the 6K hot shot $3. Is that? I don't even know what the hell that is. I don't even think I'm allowed to play that. Let's see. Okay. So I honestly don't think I'm allowed to. Let's see. 6K. I don't think it's enough. Let's add. Oh, here. Let's get rid of it. Let's just edit the other one. Sorry, guys. I'm still just getting used to everything over here on this one. Let's see. We'll go to. So it's called the hot. Oh, there it is. Hot shot. Oh, the 3 max. Oh, I got you. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Hot shot for some reason sounded like a hockey thing to me. Feels like it would be a hockey tournament or something. All right. So here we go. We're gonna run it. And what are we gonna have to do? Let's just put Cam Johnson at 28, and let's put Bridges at 40, and then let's run it. Okay. And we have the build settings right. 20 will build 2000. Okay. And let's rebuild. Let's do a 2-man unique for fun. All right, here we go. Dame is the question from MJ. I think Dame is an interesting contrarian play. Yeah, I could get behind it, Dame. I could get behind it, MJ. I like that. I like that contrarian play. I do prefer the other 9K guys better, but I think that's actually a pretty decent play. I think that is. I could get behind the Lillard thing. I say go ahead, MJ. I think it's good enough. Like I said, I'm more on the Brunson and Murray and whatever, but no problem if you want to use Dame. Absolutely no problem with it. I do also expect Giannis to bounce back. Well, not bounce back. Just I expect the game to be a little more competitive than 40 at halftime or whatever the hell it was last time. Oh, sorry, I left it as one unique by accident on the other side of it. Okay, so let's see what we got. Let's see what we get exposure-wise if we run right now in the 3 max hot shot. My guess is you're going to get a lot of chalk, so I'm going to build one more after this. 100% Bridges, 80%. Oh, look at this, though. See, I don't understand this about the Carter thing. If he's projecting well and all this and everybody loves him, why is the ownership so low? What am I missing? Why does this keep happening? He's projecting well. Like, it doesn't even make sense to me. Anyway, 75% Van Fleet. So, yeah, you have super mega chalk that they went with. They did like the Capella, Trey Jones, Keontae George, Brandon Miller. They went with Josh Giddey some. I think that's reasonable. Yeah, no issues there. Cam Whitmore, they got to a little bit of. Taylor Hendricks, not as much as I would have thought. I think Taylor Hendricks is a better play than he's being projected for. I think he is, personally. Really thought he was going to kill it for me last time out, but let's do one more for the fadeaway just so we can see what it looks like on a little bit of a bigger scale. Let's edit this one. I don't really want to keep saving a million different ones, so we are going to scroll down. And did I pass it? No. Where are we? There we are. All right. So we'll do the same thing with the fadeaway, and then let's see what's different between that and the fadeaway. Oops. Okay. Van Vliet looks, yeah. I just want to point out something about Van Vliet though. Like I'm not saying, like I said, I have him as a priority tag, but doesn't mean that I'm going to necessarily prioritize him. I think that he's an interesting fade. Just want to point out that Van Vliet's, let me just read through his game log. He played 36 minutes in his last game, had 15 fantasy points. Played 38 minutes in the previous game, had 30 fantasy points. Previous game, 37 minutes, 42 fantasy points. Previous game, 30 minutes, 22. Previous game, 32 minutes, 28. Previous game, 25 minutes, 34. Previous game, 37 minutes, 32. Previous game, 37 minutes, 32. Maybe this Van Vliet thing, you know what? I'm talking myself out of it. I'm definitely taking him off my core now. Maybe tonight is the night, but like that's a 10 game sample size of him never getting there, and of him getting there once, and even then just barely getting there. It is a good matchup, but I don't know what's going on with him. He's been teasing us. He's been super popular. He's basically destroyed every lineup he's touched for the last month. So just keep that in mind. Why were you going to play Green? You were going to play Green? Green is, that's talking about volatile. Like, I don't know if Jalen Green might play like 20 minutes. He might play like 35. I have no idea what to do with that. So yeah, Van Vliet is the truth is, if he was going to be low owned, I'd be all over Van Vliet today. At 30% ownership, I think it's a good enough reason just to fade it. Dylan Brooks getting all the love. I think going Cam Whitmore makes sense. That's just the way that I'm playing today. All right. So anyway, would it play Wemby and Chet in the same lineup? Sure. Dell, sure. They are not, neither of them are priorities for me. I think they're both very interesting tournament plays. But yeah, I could get behind that. Did we get our lineups built, by the way? Did I miss something? Did I talk myself out of too much? Here we go. Let's see what we got. All right. Let's see what we got ownership wise. But yeah, I think Chet and Wemby are reasonable. Sure. Yeah, that's an interesting way to go. Definitely a different type of build, even though they're both going to have some ownership. I think it's pretty cool, actually. I kind of into that idea, Del. I don't know how to say the name, Del. All right, let's see what we got here for exposure. Still 100% Bridges, 80% Johnson, 75. This is the same. Something's wrong. So it's really giving us the same for both? No, come on. Use the contest sims, you mother. Got the right one. All right, that's a little weird to me. Oh, no, it's a little different. I'm sorry. Wendell Carter's a little bit lower. Yeah, it is. It did change a little bit. Finney Smith they like as well. Trey Jones, pretty much what you'd expect, with the exception of, for some reason, this Wendell Carter lack of ownership is confusing me. I don't get it, guys. I'm going to do it. Moses Moody on FanDuel. Yeah, Moses Moody we knew he was starting. I'm fading him personally. Remember, it's not like he's going to have all these minutes. Like Chris Paul gets those minutes. Who else do we have? Their bench is like, let me just update this thing. Excuse me. Make sure I'm not missing out on something that might be happening. I just would say be cautious with, don't think like you're getting some steal play with Moody. Like there's always a chance, sure. But I am not on the Moody side myself tonight. I actually think the projections did a nice job of not over projecting him, which they usually do. All right. Anything else, guys, before I get out of here and finish my builds and try to get my life back together and figure out this whole hacked Instagram, hacked whatever it's called. Oh my God, I've had so many hundreds of messages from people I haven't heard of in forever, just because of this hacking. So cool. I get to reach out to new people, and now I'll have nobody ever be my friend again. No, I'm just kidding. Jolly's playing Kuminga. No issue with that one. Always okay with a little Kuminga. Terrible matchup, terrible situation, probably, circumstantially, but nobody's going to play him. He's got upside. That's enough of a reason. Take a shot. Why not? Am I the only one who thinks Clay's being a little bit underprojected? This is the thing with playing Moody. So what do you think is going to happen with Moody? Okay, let's say the game is close, which it should, by all intents and purposes, be. Where do the minutes go? Like, he plays his first rotation. Okay, then it's all Klay Thompson and Chris Paul and Gary Payton. So, like, I don't think he's a better play even than Gary Payton is necessarily, just to be honest. I think they're very similar, but how are they going to get the minutes? Like, there's just too many other guys that are way ahead of them. Moody may be starting, but he's actually the 8th man on the team, or 7th or 8th man on the team, depending on how you look at it. I guess you probably would call him. Let's just see even minutes-wise, where do we have him tonight? 23.77. I'll take the under on those minutes. Why is Saric projected as 3,100? Okay, that's why. Yeah, I'll take the under on the minutes. But even if he plays that many minutes, we've seen Moody play 28 minutes before and put up 0 fan. Like, literally, I think he put up 2 fantasy points one time in 28 minutes. If you want to do it, you're desperate for value, go ahead. I'm not doing it. I can just tell you that right now. If he ends up in one of my smaller buy-in stuff, he'll be paired with like Lonnie Walker or Dorian Finney-Smith or something. I like those two guys much better than him. At some point, I will pull the Kuminga trigger in my life, but I'm sorry, I'll pull the Moody trigger, but I'm not quite there yet. All right, it looks like the questions have dried up. We appreciate all the time, guys. A favorite game to stack is very easy for me, Brooklyn, Atlanta. I'm going to say goodbye and good luck to everybody. I hope you guys crush it tonight. I'll be in the Discord for the premium members, and we can talk through anything. Hit me up in there. Good luck, everybody.